Hey everyone, this is TH Stories 80, where we narrate fanfiction audiobooks. Now we begin Chapter 5 of Tara Sheppard. Sunnydale, 13:15 hours. After leaving Buffy's home with Tara, the first thing Sheppard did was to drive to a hotel near Main Street and book a room for a few nights. Once he had gotten a room, he rushed back to the car he'd rented earlier that day upon arriving in Sunnydale. He slipped into the driver's seat while Tara was listening to the radio. After asking the blonde if she knew a place where they could get a bite to eat and some decent coffee, she recommended the Espresso Pump. Nodding, Sheppard started the car and followed Tara's directions. Once they reached the Espresso Pump, Sheppard parked the car. They walked inside, found a table, and sat down. Sheppard asked Tara if she knew what items on the menu were good. The chocolate shake, Tara replied with a small smile. I like chocolate. Okay then, Sheppard nodded before getting up to place their order at the counter. He soon returned with 2 large glasses of chocolate shakes and 2 slices of cake before sitting back down. I never knew, said Tara after taking a sip of the shake through her straw, referring to their relationship. I never even suspected, and neither did I, Sheppard said, leaning back and looking at Tara. Did they ever find you again? I mean, your dad and your brother. You really did see, Tara whispered, looking down at the table. She could only imagine how that was possible. After all, she hadn't sensed any magic from him. I did, replied the Major. It was like it really happened to me, even though it didn't. It was strange. Actually, I saw your mother talking to you, and then she looked at me. I mean, it was like she was looking right at me. Tara snapped her head up, staring at her brother with furrowed eyebrows. A look of surprise etched across her face. How? Thought the blonde to herself before asking Sheppard if her mother had said anything to him. Sheppard recalled the memory and said, She was talking to you? And then she looked at me. It was a bit weird. Does this have anything to do with, magic? I know it sounds strange, Tara said nervously. Tara, Sheppard said reassuringly, leaning forward. I've served everywhere you can think of. Most of it's classified, but I can tell you I've seen weird things. So yeah, I think I can take it. Tara took a deep breath before explaining that her mother had been a very powerful witch, and it could have been her way of communicating from beyond the grave. Maybe she'd known something would happen to Tara and left a message for Sheppard that activated when the time was right. Or maybe she ascended and placed a letter in my P.O. box. Sheppard thought, pressing his lips together. At least that's what I think, said Tara, taking another sip. She could see Sheppard's aura and noticed he was calmer than she expected. I should tell you that I don't like to use magic if possible. Why? Asked the Major. I mean, I'm just curious. There are some things that can be done without magic, Tara said, looking down at the table as she thought about Willow. Some people get so used to using it that it becomes their go-to thing to fix everything that's wrong. Sometimes it's best to work things the old-fashioned way. I guess that's what I'm trying to say? I see, replied Sheppard. You never answered, Tara. Did they come after you again? They kept saying that I was a demon, Tara whispered, glancing down at the table again. And I believed them. She then looked back up at Sheppard. Yes, they came after me again. I don't know how, but they knew where I was. They came here. They wanted to take me away, but Buffy and the others protected me. That's good, Sheppard sighed before taking another sip of his shake. Mom's letter said that you came back from somewhere far away? Asked Tara. Yeah, Sheppard replied with a nod. But I can't tell you where. It's classified. And I'll be going back with another expedition team in about 3 weeks. Oh, Tara said, leaning back in her seat, disappointment etched on her face. When we were first lost, Sheppard said, recalling the first year the expedition spent on Atlantis, we had no way to contact the Air Force. But now, they can contact us easily. Or we can contact them. I mean, I can email you if you'd want me to. Yes, Tara said excitedly. Yes, I would. The two of them sat in silence for a few moments before Tara took another sip of her shake and looked up at the Major. You You saved my life, said Tara as Major Sheppard looked on, confused. The shots. I mean the gunshots? Uh-huh, Sheppard asked, still confused. 2 bullets went through the window in my room, Tara explained as the Major's eyes went wide. Xander saw one hit the ceiling, and Buffy saw the other hit the wall across from the window. I was talking to Willow with my back to that window. It could have injured or killed the both of you, Sheppard finished as he reached for Tara's hand, resting on the table and gently squeezed it. Or you. Your mother's letter said that you were in danger. Maybe if she had powerful magic, it was possible for her to see what would have happened to you. Maybe, said Tara, wiping her eyes with her other hand. But all I know is that both Willow and I are alive. If you hadn't come when you did, maybe things would have been different. Who was this Warren guy that Buffy talked about? Asked the Major. And there was something I noticed when Willow was next to me. I thought I was seeing things, but now that you've told me about magic, I saw her hair turning black in certain areas. Tara closed her eyes, remembering the same thing. She knew her girlfriend could channel far more magic than she ever could, and Tara worried about what that power was doing to Willow. She'd seen the black hair and hoped it was just her imagination. But now that her own brother had confirmed it, she knew she had to talk to Willow sooner rather than later. It's not my place to say, John, Tara said quietly. I think it would be best if Buffy talked to you about him. And about Willow, I need to talk to her. I saw it too, and I was hoping it was just my imagination. But I need to talk to her first before I can say anything. Please? Will she be alright? Asked Major Sheppard. I think so, Tara replied, nodding her head, though inside she was deeply worried. Has she made a police report about this Warren guy? Asked the Major. Tara shook her head. The police here aren't the best, she said. I don't know what you've heard. Nothing, actually, said Major Sheppard with a smile. I came here right after reading the letter. The police here know about vampires and everything, said Tara, and Sheppard nodded. But they can't do anything. Or won't. Some just deny there's something wrong with the city. The go-to excuse is gangs on PCP or barbecue fork killers. And people believe that? Asked the Major, raising an eyebrow. Yeah, she replied. So, said the Major, leaning forward, are you going to school here or... You see Sunnydale, said Tara. I'm studying anthropology. I've been staying with Willow and Buffy to look after Dawn after their mom died. So, sorry, I don't think I was supposed to say that. It's alright, Sheppard said with a small smile. I won't rat you out. Tara smiled back before leaning forward and asking him questions about his life, at least the parts he was allowed to tell her. She listened as he spoke, smiling all the while, feeling comfortable being alone with him. She knew the magic box was only a few doors down, and that if anything did happen, which she doubted, she could run there quickly. She was certain that's where Buffy and the others were holed up. However, all her instincts told her to stay. The man sitting across from her, unlike the other men in her family, would never hurt her. Magic box, at that same time. Willow sat alone at the table in the middle of the shop, near the book stacks, while Xander talked to Dawn about how he and Anya were really done after what she did with Spike the previous night. The affair still rattled him. Willow could tell he was trying not to show how angry he was, although she was certain he'd show it to Spike if Spike ever showed up. In the meantime, Buffy was in the training room in the back, making an overseas call to Giles in London. And my girlfriend is with her brother, half-brother, Willow thought as she stared at the table. After what her last brother tried to do, should I cast a protection spell, just in case? Yeah, that's... Hey, Will, said Xander as he sat next to Willow while Dawn sat across from her. What you thinking about? Nothing, Willow said, preparing to get up. But Xander gently pulled her back down into her seat. Will, he said as a few customers walked in, followed by Anya, who simply walked past them and started looking at items on the shelves. She then passed by Xander and the others without saying hello and stepped behind the counter. Xander stared at her for a moment, shook his head, and turned back to Willow. I know that look, Will. What look? Willow asked, glancing at the table. The look that says you're planning to do something you're not supposed to do, Xander replied. I've known you a long time, Will. Whatever you're thinking, and I'm sure it's about John, Dawn said, raising an eyebrow. Willow sighed and nodded. I just wanted to cast a simple protection spell, Willow said. I mean, remember what happened, or almost happened, with her family, and then with Warren just now? Can you imagine if she died and I could have prevented it with a protection spell? What if... Will, Xander said, wrapping his arm around her shoulder. Anya, having overheard, walked back behind the counter, leaving it unmanned. You know this is Sunnydale. Things happen. We can't... I mean... What? Willow asked, looking at Xander. We can't always protect Tara from the dangers out there, Anya cut in. You know, vampires, monsters, and... She stopped when she noticed they were talking about magic in the open, and that Willow was proposing a protection spell. Anya, Dawn frowned. You shouldn't eavesdrop. Well, it can be helped when Willow's talking about a protection spell in the open, Anya said, looking at the redhead, and then back at the cash register. And the only ones she'll protect are you lot. But what's the point when any of us could die at any moment? Anya, Xander said, looking at his ex-fiancée. What? Anya replied. You betrayed Xander, by... Dawn began, but Xander tried to interrupt and was beaten to the punch by Anya. Xander left me at the altar, Anya said, while Dawn grew quiet and looked down. Xander frowned. And yes, Spike was here yesterday when I felt lost. So yeah, we did a thing, something that meant nothing. She glared at Dawn. You want to know how it feels, Dawn? You want to know what it's like for someone to rip your heart away? Well, I really hope... Hey! Buffy shouted from the door to the rear training room, phone in hand. Anya, we've got customers in the shop. Just do your thing. Considering that Giles left the shop to me? Anya mumbled as she headed to the back. I don't know why you people are still here. Dawn, Buffy said, rubbing her forehead. Help Anya, please. Fine, Dawn said, crossing her arms. I don't have to like it though. Buffy watched Dawn follow Anya through to the back office, then sat down across from Willow and asked what was going on. Willow described what she wanted to do and how Xander and Anya, in her own way, didn't want Willow to magically interfere. Will, Buffy said, putting the phone on the table and taking Willow's hands. I'll be the first person to ask you to check up on him, or run some super advanced search and, But Tara asked us not to do anything, Will. She knows what she's doing. But remember last time? Willow asked. She didn't tell us the type of people they were, and... She couldn't tell us the type of people they were, Xander said. She thought they would out her as a demon. She couldn't tell us what was going on in case they told us who she really was. Or wasn't. But this time she has nothing to hide, Will, Buffy said, squeezing her friend's hand gently. Plus, you promised her no magic, remember? I'm placing my trust in her that her brother's not going to hurt you or her. But if they do, no one will stop me from coming after them. Trust Tara, Will, Xander added, and Willow nodded. Did you talk to Giles? Willow asked, glancing at the phone in Buffy's hand. Yeah, Buffy replied. Told him about what happened. He told me to use my best judgment. But to be careful. He still remembers the mess with the initiative. I told him everything Tara told us. So he asked us to trust her. She could read auras, Willow said, laying her head on the table while Xander rested his chin beside hers. That's how she knew Miss 5x5 was in your body. Don't remind me about the Faith body swap, Buffy said, shuddering. Now that we know John's kind of a good military guy, Xander said. What are you going to do about Warren? I'll go to Willie's, Buffy said. Someone like him would want to brag about offing the Slayer. Willie's would be the best place to find out where he is. Then I'll beat him to a pulp and leave him for the Sunnydale PD to find. I can cast a protection spell for you, Willow offered. Buffy smiled. Will, Xander nudged her, reminding her of the promise to Tara. I know, Willow pouted. I'll be alright, Will, Buffy said, standing. I'll get to Willie's place and get some information. Call us? Willow asked, and Buffy nodded. Oh, call Tara's brother. Maybe he can help you. He's got that healing thing going on. I'll be alright, Will, Buffy repeated. Willow looked at her with puppy dog eyes. How about this? You want to come with me? No magic unless absolutely necessary. Okay, Willow said, excited, and stood up. She glanced at Xander. He was staring at an angry Anya, who walked up to the counter, followed by an angry Dawn. Dawn went over to the stacks and started arranging them while mumbling. Xander, you coming? Willow asked. Yeah, Xander said, getting up and walking past Anya, who was helping a customer check out. He stopped as Buffy turned and ran to Dawn, telling her to stay in the shop, that she'd be back before closing time, and they'd head back together. Xander, meantime, walked behind the counter and stood next to Anya nervously. On what? Whispered Anya, smiling at the customer before handing her the change. I'm. Look, Anya, Buffy and Tara were shot at today. What? Anya asked, surprised. When? Who? One of the nerds from the trio, Xander said, as Buffy headed out the door with Willow. Just be careful and keep an eye on Dawn, please? Fine, the ex-Vengeance Demon said. Xander nodded and walked away. Unknown to him or Buffy and Willow, figure in a store across the street was spying on them. Warren had hung around after shooting at Buffy in her backyard. He was hiding at a neighbor's house, waiting for the ambulance to come. He wanted to see his handiwork before making his presence known as the man who killed the Slayer. He wanted to prove he was fit to rule Sunnydale and that he could do it without Jonathan and Andrew. However, when the ambulances never came, he got into the car of his ex-girlfriend, the one he had murdered a few days ago. He followed the Scoobies after they got into Joyce's Jeep and drove to the magic box, where he'd scouted the Espresso Pump and seen Tara and the Major talking. He knew Buffy and Tara weren't that close. According to Jonathan, Tara's best friends were Willow and Xander. If he couldn't kill Buffy, then the next best thing to break her was killing Willow or Xander, or better yet, Buffy's sister. From his hiding spot, Warren could see them gather outside the magic box before getting into the jeep. Dawn wasn't with them, which meant she was likely still in the shop. Warren smirked. He'll kill Dawn. And then I'll kill Buffy. I don't know how she survived, but she should enjoy her life while it lasts, he thought to himself. To be continued.